Hey guys, first regardsman here, and today I'll be talking about a weekly hard stratagem number 9 for Space Marine 2 and the absolute easiest way to complete this currently. Now, the weekly strat we have this time around is on Exfiltration. The battlefield conditions are Imperial Fervor for the Emperor, shall increase the damage dealt for a short time, Killer Instinct, ability charge restored only by kills, and of course, the diabolical Great Responsibility. A randomly chosen player will have 100% more health, but all damage taken by the team redirects to them. If they die, the mission fails. Now, this mission type will not give you any Guardian Relics at all, so you just have to be careful of your teammates here, but there's actually a way to complete this that kind of trivializes the entire mission, to be honest, and that's by playing by yourself. So if you turn on private mode up here and you play with bots, the bots will not count for the Great Responsibility damage redirection here at all, so basically you just get 100% bonus health, which is pretty damn OP, and the best build for this, in my opinion, is once again, oh, what's that? The Power Fist Bulwark? Yes, Power Fist Bulwark is OP. Block Fist is the strongest weapon in the game, arguably. This thing is a stupid amount of damage, and when you stack this 100% HP buff from the modifier on top of our starting perk health increase of 30%, on top of Conviction, which reads when your armor is fully depleted, you take 25% less health damage for 10 seconds, on top of Seal Within over here, which is a 30% health damage reduction while below 50% HP, you will pretty much never die. It is basically impossible to be killed unless you are truly stun locked into oblivion, and even if you do go down, your bots will get you up, so you don't actually even have to die here. If you go down, you can just have like a second chance. And the way we're going to be able to make ourselves live even longer is with the perk over here, Invigorating Icon. When the banner is activated, all of your squad members regain maximum contested health, but it recharges 50% slower. And our perk over here, Focus Restoration, for every 30 seconds, giving us an armor segment back. Honestly, guys, you are just stupidly tanky with this build. The Power Fist does so much goddamn damage that doesn't really matter at all. Now, unfortunately, the other modifier here that makes it so you only get your ability to charge back on kills will limit how often you're able to use your Invigorating Icon, but even then, one Invigorating Icon, or like two Invigorating Icons when you have Invigorating Icon, am I saying that right? Invigorating Icons when you have 100% more health is kind of absurd already. The 100% health bonus here is just nuts, and Bulwark takes full advantage of it, so if you just stack damage reduction, you should be okay. Now, this may seem very daunting to some players, but guys, I promise you, Block Fist is very OP in Space Marine 2 currently. All you have to do with this weapon is charge attack over and over and over and trade into enemies and get those kills. And when you have the perk down here, Overcharge, you will one-shot basically any Majoris in the entire game. And on top of this, we also have Masterful Defense for our CDR back. Though I'm pretty sure this perk doesn't do anything on this modifier, but just keep that in mind for using this build like something else. Now, for the Power Fist perk tree here, I do take Perpetual Strength first, moving here to the perk Heavy Preparation. Heavy attack preparation time is reduced by 30%, applies to the following attacks: Thrust Jab, Back Fist, Hammer Hook, Back Fist 2, and Thrust Jab 2. This perk just gets your charge attacks out faster, and charge attacks are basically all that matters on the Power Fist in the first place. So pretty much use this perk all the time. Next perk here is Perpetual Strength to Perpetual Strength. Moving into the perk here, Focused Intention. When your health is below 30%, you take 50% less health damage while preparing heavy attacks. This perk, stacked with Conviction, stacked with Steel Within, stacked with the 30% HP buff, stacked with the 100% HP buff from the modifier. While you're charging your fist, guys, you are basically an immortal. You're practically Vulcan the Primarch. Nothing will be able to kill you in this modifier, and Focus Intention is already God tier, and in this modifier here, it is just absurd. Next perk here is Tide of Battle to bring your distance of your power wave up from 10 to 20 meters. The description here is actually incorrect. 20 meters is the max here from this one. It goes from 10 to 20, so kind of a weird thing that like doesn't actually say the right thing, but that's just the way it is. Next perk here is Strength of Will. Performing a heavy attack, you take 20% less range damage. It's going to be 20% less range damage. And the perk up here, Following Blow, is also quite useful. This one says Back Fist and Back Fist 2 can be performed instantly after a charged Thrust Jab or Hammer Hook. A lot of the time, the enemies in this game will be like one shot from execute, and this will help you pick up that breakpoint, so really useful for that. And the final perks are the perk combo here, which is pretty useless, and Majora's Slayer, which is quite useful for that 10% Majora's damage buff. That's pretty much all there is for the build on Bulwark, guys. Really, this is all you need to complete this stratagem. I'll show you guys like a full gameplay of this after, but overall, Bulwark is just absurd in general in this game right now, and on this Great Responsibility Stratagem, he is just kind of busted. You could use Heavy, because Heavy also takes a huge advantage of things like the Great Responsibility modifier with Fortitude and the Perk down Hero Conviction. So if you want to have like an easy time killing the boss because you might just struggle because you don't have to fight the Trigon very well, he does have an easier time. You could take Heavy Plasma or Multi-Melta or even the Pyro Cannon if you want. These two definitely being the easiest, but guys, I would really just take Bulwark. You really use whatever you want on him, but either way, you can even pick up Intimidating Aura and you'll probably be fine. This class is just kind of bonkers, and this stratagem is quite easy by yourself. If you're playing it with randoms, I mean, you could take things like Unmasked Zeal on a Vanguard and stuff like that, or your Bulwark here, once again the same build, but really playing with bots is just the easiest way to do this one by far, and you're probably going to struggle quite a bit if you're playing with like a random team. Now, one more thing I wanted to mention here is apparently whoever creates the run will be the one that is the damage guy, so just keep that in mind. If you are doing an LFG for this, if you're playing with your friends and you want to basically force it to be like one dude, that's what I've been told. I have not personally tested this in game myself. That is apparently how it functions, and the best builds for like a group setup in my opinion would be using things like Vanguard, Bulwark, and Heavy. All these classes have a ton of damage reduction with things like Thrill of the Fight and Conviction and stuff like that. Melter rifles are quite useful for armor restore, and things like the Bulwark shield, obviously 100% reduced damage, and Heavy's Iron Halo will reduce all chip damage to 0 from range attacks, and getting chipped down in this mode definitely sucks. Now, the one silver lining of this week's stratagem is that the Exfiltration mission is a Tyranid mission, and Tyranid missions are way easier for Great Responsibility than, say, a Chaos mission is, but either way, it still kind of sucks. I think this modifier needs a serious rework because Great Responsibility is just not a very fun modifier for anybody. It's probably the least liked one in the entire game currently, and until they actually rework it on like the next upcoming patch 11, it just sucks for now, guys. That's kind of how the unfortunate truth of the Great Responsibility modifier is currently. And another strategy for this mission is that once your damage guy goes down, you can actually leave them on the floor. You will not fail the mission on their first down. You can actually get them back up. Let's say you're fighting a boss like a Carnifex, a Neurothrope or something, and you get your teammate downed. You want to leave them there, finish the boss, and then res them after. That will pretty much guarantee that your characters will not die, because your entire team is actually immortal while your teammate is on the floor. So just keep that in mind if you're doing an LFG for this one, and that's pretty much the best strategy to go about finishing this mission in a team, in my opinion. And you know, guys, just as an ending portion to this, since I want to make it very clear that you can play this with other teammates, but the way the Great Responsibility Battlefield Condition is set up currently, it's just easier to do by yourself, because this stratagem in particular takes away agency from you, the player. You are basically at the mercy of your random teammates if you play this in a group, and there's only so much you can build for in that scenario. It's like you could take a Pyroblaster to this, so you could take things like Focus Restoration to protect your teammates, but the reality is, if you have a teammate that gets the Great Responsibility modifier on them and another teammate that doesn't know what they're doing and they die over and over and over, your mission will fail, and that's just the way this modifier is set up currently. I'm not a big fan of this modifier at all. I hope they actually fix this at some point in the future, but I just want to make it very clear that if you want to play with a group, you definitely can. You can build Horde Clear like Pyroblaster, you can build boss nuking abilities like Precise Calibration and Concentrated Fire. It is doable. It will be more difficult. They are changing this stratagem in the future to be like 150% HP buff, I believe, but either way, it is just currently easier with bots, because bots do not have any redirection to you from the damage they take, and because of that, the entire stratagem modifier is just a 100% HP buff, and I think that's the objectively best way to play it is in solo currently, and that's what I'm trying to show you guys today. So hopefully this helped. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and as always, thank you for watching, guys. Take it easy. Bye.